Everybody, it's Liv. I just wanted to show you a really simple tulle bow that I made as a mom of 3 daughters. They usually do want some type of hair accessory. They are starting to get older now, so they don't really like elaborate over the top type of things. They want me to keep it pretty simple. So when they were younger, I had all this tulle that I used to add to these big bows that I would make for them. And now I just kind of had this hoarding in my stash. So I decided that this would be a cute little bow in order to do. So hopefully you guys can see this adorable little Halloween themed type of bow. Very simply done. Tulle is actually very forgiving. I think it's a great material to work with and super easy. So I'm going to walk you through how I made this. So you guys have it. So what you would need is tulle. You can use 2 to 3 different types. I just happen to have these already. This is a purple one with some bats on it. Perfect for the season. Some with skulls on it. And then this one, which is a spider web. You're also going to need some embroidery thread to tie it all together. A pair of scissors. I use some clips here to help me keep it. I also like to use templates as much as I can. This is a template I use both for my pinwheels as well as that I'm going to use for this particular tuxedo type bowl. I have them both plastic and wood, no particular preference. You can make your own as well. Some people make them out of paper. When I first got them, that is what I did as well. So the first step is to grab your, whether you're going to use 2 or 3. For this one, I'm going to replicate something similar to what I did here. So I can have matching, because I have one daughter who likes to wear 2 braids. So I'm going to put a matching one to match on each side. So what I'm going to do here is take the 2, clip it on one end, leave just a little bit of space so when you're putting your thread through, you have room for that. And I'm going to wrap this around, I'm going to say 6 times. I like it nice and thick. Four. So I'm going to take a pin right here. Then I'm going to cut off a piece of my embroidery thread. Doesn't really need to be a super long piece because it's really just to put a knot in the middle. So take a piece on top here. You don't have to separate it. You can use all the strands. Take it on this end, wrap around. And for right now, I'm just going to get like a basic tie in there, just so I can take this off the actual template and not be so worried about anything falling apart. So let me knot it one more time. So that's going to give me a very basic one. I'm going to use more thread in a second. Then you're going to slide it off. Get this to the middle as much as possible. Now you're going to come back with more embroidery thread. Take one end. Now I'm going to keep the tie back here, and you'll see why I like to keep all my knots together and not put too many knots on both ends, because it's easier to hide them all that way. So let me get in the camera here so you can see. And now I'm going to do a super tight knot. Do the best you can to try to be in the center of your bow. You can move it over a little bit. You're going to knot it a couple of more times. And then for good measure, get one more knot in there. I'm actually going to do some tight winding in the middle as well, because I like to make sure my bows are not going to come apart. This type of bow doesn't really need any type of glue at all. So what I mean by winding is that I'm going to then take it and wrap as tight as I can around the middle. So you can see it's really tightening up that bow a lot. And then I'll come back here, tie it to one of my other strings, tie it, clip off any excess so you don't see it. So now you kind of see your bow here. You're going to have some left over, whether you have it left over on one side or both sides. I did run a little bit short on here. So again, one of the reasons I love tulle, I trim as close as I can to match up to this. And then I just take my tulle and stick it into, see if you guys can see that. Stick it right. You're going to see there's like a little pockety thing. I'm going to stick it right in there. And now it's disappeared. Can't really see it. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. This is actually pretty much almost trim. So I'm going to then just take this and stick it into one of my tulle layers. And now you can't really see at all those ends. Then I took the black one, took a very small piece of it, kind of bunched it up, took it in the middle, whichever's going to be your front side. You're going to wrap it here. You're going to tie a simple knot in the back, simple bow back right here. Tight, 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 tight. Tight as you can. Then trim off the excess. And you have a tulle bow. So now you have two that you can use. If you find that one size may be not matching exactly, if you're going to do pigtail type styles, that you can always tuck one in if you needed to. You can add this to whatever type of backing you want, whether it be an alligator clip that you want to put it on, whether it want to be an elastic band, if that's what, whatever preference you guys have, just glue it right on here in the back. Or if you have an alligator clip that you want to use, which is this style, and you can just glue that right here on the back. And ta-da! You got two really adorable tulle bows that you can use for whichever little princess you have in your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And I hope to see you guys back soon. If you did, feel free to subscribe below when I give you some more tips on how I get some hair accessories done, as well as other crafting that I like to do. All right, have a good night.